Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island joins me now. He is a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, which has oversight over the Department of Justice. Senator, thank you so much for being with us. Talk me through Schumer's logic here. How uncomfortable is it going to make your Republican colleagues to actually have to take a vote on whether or not they stand with this anti-weaponization fund?
Well, I think it's pretty despised. And not only is it pretty despised, not only with the entire American public, essentially, but a lot of Republicans have spoken out against it. So it has a very bad reputation. Moreover, there's a judicial proceeding down in Florida right now that looks into whether the deal that was struck amounted to a fraud on the court. And when about 36 retired federal judges raised that concern with the judge in the case, the judge reopened the case in order to pursue those claims and asked for a response. And only Trump's personal lawyers responded. So we'll see where that goes next. But there's a very good chance that an ongoing federal court proceeding will be looking into Blanche's misconduct about the slush fund, which everybody hates, at exactly the moment that he's being reviewed to become Attorney General. Not a good combo.
Senator, will you personally be meeting with Blanche? And if so, when?
We haven't been asked, so it's customary to do that, but we'll see whether that transpires or not. They, you know, if all he's going to do is come in and do a Bondi and have a little hit list of bad Oppo research to read out about us, then, you know, having a meeting isn't much point. But he has a lot to explain, from his botching of the Epstein files disclosure to his role in the slush fund to all the illegal U.S. attorneys and all the U.S. attorneys who've melted down on his watch, to the litany of failures at the Department of Justice that have caused it for the first time in its history to lose the presumption of regularity that has always been the hallmark of its conduct. So he's got a lot to answer for.
Well, while he has not found time in his busy schedule for you, Senator, is our understanding that he's meeting with Senator Bill Cassidy today, who said he needs to be convinced that he ought to support this confirmation. Have you heard that from other Republican colleagues, especially given the math is tight here? I mean, they need what? They can lose 3 Republicans in the full Senate vote?
I think it is very prudent to try to pin down the Republican senators before coming to us. Because when you look at that litany of problems that this guy brings to a confirmation, I think he's got real trouble on the Republican side. Cassidy is one. I think Thom Tillis has expressed concern about him as well. He's on the committee. Ashley Moody voted against the slush fund because she's up for re-election in Florida against the very talented Alex Vindman, who's running a strong race against her. So there's all sorts of reason for Republicans to want to steer clear of this and not have to carry this particularly stinking piece of baggage into their own November elections.
Blanche's goodwill tour on the Hill comes after California Governor Gavin Newsom revealed DOJ was investigating him, investigating his wife. I want you to take a listen to what happened when reporters tried to ask Blanche about that during his meeting with Senator Grassley.
The Justice Department investigating Gavin Newsom. Can you explain that?
I'm not here to make this is not a news conference. This is just for whatever you want.
The government's accusing you of political retribution and present.
As it goes. I will say. Am I right, Claire? This
all right, guys. All right. That's enough.
I mean, that's uncomfy. Like, if you can't answer those questions with the press, then I'm not sure how you're supposed to answer them when you're sitting with U.S. senators.
Yeah, and it's not like it's a one-off to be going after Newsom because he's a political adversary of the president. You've got, you know, the Jim Comey case. You've got the Letitia James case. You've got Mark Kelly and Alyssa Slotkin and Adam Schiff, colleagues of mine in the Senate who he's gone after. You've got the Fed chair, Jay Powell, and Lisa Cook. All of these have gone very sideways for the Department of Justice after they began in a really bad place. which is the Department of Justice finding a target and then running around trying to make a case against that target because it will provide some degree of satisfaction to the audience of one to whom this department is so subservient.
Senator, before I let you go, it's interesting. There was a moment when I think a lot of us wondered if this administration would sort of stay in the land of acting heads of agencies because they knew they could not get any of these folks confirmed. We're now see them actually making the effort to confirm Blanche, also making the effort to get Trump's pick for DNI, Jay Clayton, supported. Your colleague, Democratic Senator Mark Warner, said that Clayton has, quote, the right temperament for the job. He's expected to meet with him tomorrow. Do you agree that Clayton has the right temperament for the job? And do you think temperament alone is enough to lead America's national intelligence apparatus?
Well, I think the important thing for us right now is that we have, it seems, gotten rid of the notion of Bill Pulte, who is Trump's hitman from a housing agency behind the, Lisa Cook and Adam Schiff and Letitia Clark fake prosecutions. Giving a guy like that access to the national security data of the country to troll, to try to figure out ways to hurt Trump's political opponents would have been an absolute nightmare. So I think we can take a bit of a victory lap that Pulte is going to be gone very shortly. I think a lot of Democrats are going to support Jay Clayton. I think a lot of them are going to oppose him. It's not clear that he meets the statutory standard of having had real intelligence experience, but way better than Pulte, who has literally zero credentials for that job and a demonstrated record of using confidential information for political hit purposes against Americans.